Brent, Christian, you guys have a ton of experience, so give me a snapshot at what actual litigation looks like.
I think that is the most important thing, to let your client know what litigation is before you get into litigation, because it starts with something called a complaint. And we file the complaint, and then we have to serve the complaint. And then the other side has 30 days to answer the complaint, and they always ask for continuance for 30 more days. So right up front, litigation is at least 60 to 90 days just to get the complaint answered. Then we go into discovery, which usually starts with written discovery, which are interrogatories. Tell them a little bit about that.
And then once you do the interrogatories, which are basically statements under oath that you will have to answer as the plaintiff in the claim, they're going to transition to depositions of lay people, which means non-expert witnesses. And so then you're going to be questioned by a defense attorney about what you answered on a piece of paper to see if there's any other information that hasn't been addressed.
So the interrogatories, once we file those, they have 30 days to answer those. They're going to ask for another 30-day extension. So you're talking 3 more months just to get through the interrogatories. Then we have to do the scheduling with the plaintiff, the defendant. Our schedule has to work with the defense attorneys. We're talking another 3 months of getting the depositions done. So we're talking 9 months before we get to a position where we could actually go into a courtroom. And at that point, then there's a bunch of pretrial motions that usually get filed. So litigation is not for the weary. It is a year and a half process. And with court delays, 2.5 years is not unheard of. The one thing you want to consider is you don't want to file a lawsuit and then get bogged down in 6 months and say, settle this, I'm done, because that's not the best way to do it. Once you start with litigation, you need to commit and go forward. 95% of the time or so, I think the case settles anyway, but if they feel a weakness in your litigation process, that's going to negatively affect you. So once we get started, we just need to keep it going.
So litigation, once you start, there's really no looking back. And something I think people really need to be mindful of is, what does that cost look like, Christian?
The costs associated with litigation can vary depending on how complex the case. Unfortunately, no one helps anyone out for free when you have expert witnesses. Doctors are expensive, crash reconstruction specialists are expensive. Any type of person that you need to support your case is going to cost you per hour, and you might not even get all the information that you need out of that, but it's still a cost associated that you're going to have to deal with.
I mean, that's a lot to look at and a lot to handle, so thank you both for giving us a real look at what litigation can be like.
This segment of QC Life was sponsored by Stewart Law Offices.